Hello everyone, this is Renier, and today we're going to analyze a game in the King's Indian played by Rajavov with black against the Gelfand, a game that I consider very important for the theory of knight a6 line in the King's Indian. Okay, first let me flip the board and let's get to the opening. Okay, Gelfand with the white pieces. This is common. Both players played this as the main lines. And now Rajavov played knight a6. I have to say Rajavov has never been a big fan of this line. Actually, he only used it, I think, against Karpov in 2003, if I'm not remembering wrong. But okay, against Gelfand he has tried almost every line. He has tried knight bd7 and the main lines with knight c6. Okay, castle e5 and now bishop e3. In my previous video on this variation I already mentioned that white had here the choice of rook e1 and black can continue with queen e8 or c6. There is also a third move, that is bishop g4, which is very unusual, and it has been played by Nagamura, I think once against Alexeyev. But it's interesting. I'm not sure if it equalizes immediately, but it's a try. I have played myself c6 in this position. Okay, but that's another story. We're analyzing today bishop e3, and now okay, black can play c6, but let's get to knight g4, which is the main line, and after bishop g5 queen e8. This is the critical variation. Now I also said in my previous video that black, in order to play this with black, you must control, and this is the most important, control the move c5 here in this position. I have some analysis in this line. It's not something conclusive yet. I haven't found like an easy way to equalize, but okay, we will analyze that someday. But those who are studying this line should be aware of this move. Also, d takes on e5 is the main move. We should analyze it in my other video on this opening, but there is also a third move here in this position, that is rook e1. This move has been played by Kramnik, and until now I thought that it actually poses some problems for black. The idea is to try to expose the queen on e8. White wants to play knight d5 at some point, and with the center intention it's very difficult for black to actually move. There is some people who have played c6 and with good results with black. However, I think it's not the best way to equalize. The move played by Rajavov I consider the best, which is it takes on d4, and now Gelfand played knight d5, which is again a critical variation. That is the move that Kramnik played against Topalov in a rapid game, I think. Okay, but let's make a stop here and let's analyze knight takes on d4, which is an important alternative. Okay, now the knight on g4 is attacked, and knight takes on h2 is a very big mistake. Not because of king takes on h2, of course not, because of queen e5 check. But if black plays now knight takes on h2, white plays bishop e3, and black's position is hopeless immediately. So the correct move is queen e5, attacking d4, g5, h2 at the same time. So, but white can defend all of this with a move knight f3. Okay, now we move with the tempo. Queen c5, attacking f2, and now white has bishop h4. Okay, don't be fooled by the activity of black pieces. Queen e5, queen c5 with tempos. Yes, but we also have to be aware that if white manages to play a3 before, and we will have very awkward pieces. Especially the knight on a6 is the big problem in this line. So now bishop e6. This idea is of course to control the square d5. Knight d2 attacks the knight on g4 and prepares knight b3, and now knight to e5. And this is the let's call it critical position. It's not really there isn't a lot going on in this position. Just white wants to play knight d5 either on the next move or first knight b3. And okay, for black is the idea is when to play c6 and when to play f5 to create enough counterplay. For example, now let's see the alternatives for white. There is a key game in this line which was played against Christian Bauer, grandmaster from France, against Max Shane. That game went rook c1 in this position, and after queen b6, rook b1, defending the pawn, knight c5, heading to d3, queen c2, and now a5. Okay, black has achieved a good position in my opinion, and now white should play knight d5. And after bishop takes on d5, c takes on d5. The idea is to play king h1 and f4. White has the bishop pair now, and the threat of a potential knight c4 in the future can be very awkward. So maybe bishop a6 to prevent f4, and okay, after knight c4, knight takes, bishop takes, and a4 to secure the position of the knight on c5. I think the position should be about equal. Okay, perhaps white is only slightly better after bishop f6, if anything. So, but in that game, Bauer played bishop e7, and after rook f e8, bishop g5. This didn't make much sense. Now after c6, bishop e3, and queen d8, black has a wonderful position. A typical position from the e takes on the 4 lines, in which black has accomplished more than he usually does. After rook bd1, queen h4, b3, f5, with very good counterplay. Black went on to win. The game continued f4, knight to d7, knight f3, queen e7. You can see the white center is now very weak. Taking on f5 is not an option, and e5 after d takes on e5, pawn takes on e5, knight takes on e5, black is a pawn up. And white has no compensation. Nothing at all. Knight d4, bishop f7, bishop f2, knight d7, queen g5, queen f6. It's just a regular game, and black has everything. An extra pawn, all the pieces well placed, and there is nothing white can do here. Okay, so back to this position, other moves have been tried. For example, the move knight b3 has been recommended, and now after queen b6, immediately knight d5. So bishop takes on d5, c takes on d5, and this happened in the game last year. With the white pieces was Andrei Shigalko, which is a very strong grandmaster from Ukraine, and he lost this position with white against a 2200 rated player. Okay, he was better, but he couldn't find the right moves at the right time. In this position, in that game that I'm talking about, black played knight c5, which is not is probably not the best move because of knight takes, queen takes, and now very precise bishop g5 with the idea of bishop e3. I believe black is under pressure, okay, because of white's bishop pair. White just needs to bring the bishop back to e3. On f5 he can always take, and okay, there is some difficulty here with the black queen, where to place it, where is active enough, and if it's ever going to get back to the king side. That's a good question. So in that game white played queen a4, which wasn't so strong, and after bishop a6, queen b5, and then queen c2. It looks like black got some good piece play. Look at the bishop on d1, and here black is playing c6 on any move. For example, on the next move that was played, c6, attacking the queen and freeing the c7 pawn from any pressure in the future. So this didn't work out for white at all. After queen b3, c takes on d5, rook d1, he has queen c4. Queen takes, d takes, rook takes e6, rook c8. Yes, white has the bishop pair, but this pawn on c4 is very annoying. The bishop on c2 is not that strong, and knight d3 at some point is coming. So it's not a great game. Okay, but in this position, like I said before, bishop g5 is very annoying. Okay, but knight d7 is the right move, with the idea, of course, of trading on c5, but recapturing with the knight, and later playing a5 and securing the position of the knight on c5. This position reminds me a little bit of the plans in the accelerated dragon, which black plays on the dark squares. Now after knight d2, which some annotator says that white could claim an advantage. I'm not saying that white is not better, but things are not very easy after queen takes on b2. This requires some analysis, but I believe in black's chances here. Okay, so saying this, after knight b3, what else? Oh, knight d5 immediately. Then queen d4. This game is a recent loss. Well, actually not that recent. It's from 2008. Van Velde, playing with the white pieces, lost to a 22-38 rated player. Now he's attacking b2. Black is attacking b2. So after rook b1, bishop takes on d5, c takes on d5, knight c5. Black is playing knight d3, bishop f1, f5, and okay, position is complex. I think after b4, black had knight a4. This game requires analysis as well, but it looks like black is playing happy already, because after queen c2, bishop a6, and the knight is going to c3 on the next move. On knight b3, black can play queen c3, for example. Okay, so what else is here? Okay, no, so this is clear. So knight takes on d4, queen e5, knight f3, queen c5, yes, bishop h4, and bishop e6, knight d2, knight d5, and knight d5. This may be the critical move. After queen d4 and rook b1, it seems alright to me. Bishop takes and knight c5. Even if I have my doubts about f5 in this position, maybe a5 first, but okay, I believe black has a decent position. Okay, back to the move that we're studying. That move is knight d5, the move that Renier played against Topalov. And now in that game Topalov played d3, and after bishop takes on d3, c6, knight e7 check, king on h8, knight takes, rook takes on c8, we have a position that in theory it would be okay, but in practice it's not so easy to play with black. I mean, white has a very solid position here. The bishop on c8, even though that in those games, in the normal games, it doesn't get any major role. Here it will be missed a lot, because when the position is open, we're going to miss the bishop pair, obviously. So the d6 pawn is also weak. After bishop f1, white has everything under control. Taking on b2 will only activate the white rook, so this is not the kind of position that I like. For example, after queen takes on d6, knight takes on e4, queen a3, there is some pressure on a7, and okay, after f5, h3, knight e5, bishop f4, knight d7, white took the pawn on a7. And even if you take on b2, rook b1, I believe white is clearly better. But I believe white is better just after bishop f1 in this position. It has been played, I think, this position a couple of more times, and black has achieved a couple of draws, I think, but this is not the kind of position that you want to play against a stronger player with good positional knowledge, because creating counterplay here will be a very difficult task. So, but Royalov played a move that looks very interesting. That move is f6. Okay, and after bishop f4, and this is the key position, the move is d3. That's the key move. It has only been played once before this game, and we're going to see why that move is important. Let's see the alternative. Previously c6 has been played, and then the problem is that white doesn't move the knight. Of course, he cannot move the knight anywhere, but he takes on d6, and after c takes on d5, e takes on d5, and now those d and c pawns become very strong. For example, after rook f7, c5, now white is threatening to take on a6, so we have to move the queen. Knight takes on d4, the knight on g4 in danger. Knight a6, knight e6, taking on e6, d takes on e6, a pass pawn, and after rook e7, c6, the knight on a6 is now in danger. After knight c7, c takes on b7, rook b8, bishop takes on e7, queen takes, and queen d7. This is a game by Castellanos with the white pieces against Pruissers, played in 2009, and here black has to resign. You can see already knight on a6 doesn't play, there is a pawn on e6, another on b7. This is an awful position for black, and there isn't really any improvement in this position. I mean, it's possible to play f5, sacrificing the rook on f8, but after c5, queen d8, bishop takes on a6, b takes on a6, bishop takes, and d6, white is in control again. The material is minimum. He has a rook for two minor pieces, and these two strong pawns on c5 and d6. Queen f6, h3, the knight has to go to a6, queen takes d4, knight takes, king f7, rooks to the center, natural play. king f6, what to do if bishop d7 or bishop b7 there, then c6. Rook e8, couldn't be any stronger. White wins. This is a game by Lalich with the white pieces. Okay, McShane actually won this position with black after f5, in which against Grandmaster Alexander Husman, but white played queen b3, and probably he was better with this move anyway. Rook f7, h3, knight a6, and bishop c4. Probably this is also better for white. Just look how bad it looks. It looks awful. Okay, so we will not concentrate anymore on this line. c6 is not the best move. We could say that is a bad move. The move is d3. And now the good news is that it seems like no matter what, with what white takes now, it will transpose to the same position. So after queen takes on d3, this is the first new move of the game, strictly speaking. Bishop takes on d3, there is a game with this move, but after knight e5, bishop e2, queen f7, then rook c1, knight c5, attacking e4, queen c2, and now from this position black could transpose to the Radjabov game by playing c6, knight c3, and then f5, which looks extremely good for black. Well, maybe it's an exaggeration, but for King's Indian players this type of position is very fun to play. Knight e6 is coming, also the f-file is going to be open, and any trade on e5 will be advantageous for black. In that game, in this position black played knight e6, which is also very interesting. And after bishop e3, c6, knight c3, and then f5. Perhaps knight g4, forcing bishop d2, and now if black wants, he can repeat with knight e5, because the threat is to take on f3 and continue with knight d4, gaining the bishop pair and later opening the game with f5. Of course, so white cannot allow this, so he should play. If he doesn't want to play bishop e3, he could try queen d1, but after f5, e takes on f5, queen takes on f5, we have an improved version of the rupture with f5 that black did in the game on move 18. The problem with the f5 on move 18 is that after e takes on f5, he must take with the pawn. And okay, there is good piece play, but the structure is worse. So if black doesn't actually get anything concrete, anything clear, he's in danger of getting in a worse position. And there is another thing here, that playing f4 at some point looks like a way to free the bishop from c8 and create attack against the king side, but also it gives away the e4 square, so it's a compromise move. Queen d1 was played in that game, and after f4, bishop d2, queen g6, looks like black is playing dynamically, and he is, but after knight takes on e5, probably he should take with the bishop. And after bishop h5, queen g7, knight e4, and now knight d4 with the idea of bishop f5. This looks about right. Bishop f5 and rook a to d8. In the game, even though that he won with this move d takes on e5, I believe he's worse after bishop h5, queen h6, and now for some reason white didn't play knight e4, which I think is good. The idea of c5 and bishop c3. White played bishop g4, and after knight c5, bishop takes on c8, rook takes on c8. Black was better. queen c2, rook d8, going to d3, rook d1, knight d3, rook f1, and now black could have won a pawn with queen e6, which attacks c4 and also is threatening f3 and queen g4 or queen h3. So simply, if white plays b3, then f3 gives black a tremendous attack, and if he doesn't play b3 in this position, then queen takes on c4. It's an extra pawn and a winning position. In the game he played worse. He played queen g6, and after f3 there was a combination that it looks like it gives black a material advantage, but it doesn't win the game actually. e4, knight takes, and knight f2, because the knight on e4 is pinned. That's the point. But rook takes, bishop takes, and what happened now is that the knight on e4 is too strong. After bishop c3, bishop e3, knight f6, king f7. Here white played the move queen b3, which immediately loses, but after knight e4 the position is about equal. The black king is very exposed, and the bishop on c3 is very strong, the knight on e4 as well. You can see that trading on d1 doesn't bring any relief, as it gives away the d file. Probably the best is just go back with king g8, and white cannot push it either. He should play knight f6. In the game, queen b3 was played, and after rook takes on d1, queen takes on d1, probably white missed the move rook d8, which is a very unpleasant surprise he cannot take. And no matter what he moves, where he moves the queen, he has back rank issues. Queen c2 and rook d1 on the next move. There is no other square. Alright, so let's get to the position after queen takes on d3. Then knight e5, queen d2. First of all, if knight takes on e5, probably this move is okay, but it doesn't bring white any advantage. After d takes on e5, bishop e3, c6, all the pieces must go back, knight c3, and now just queen e7. Idea of knight c7, knight e6, or knight c5, knight e6, or even bishop e6. This is typical play and very comfortable for black in this type of position. Just the idea is to bring a knight to e6 and eventually play f5. Also, one might think about knight c7 immediately, idea of knight e6, or f5. This is another move that could be played. Okay, queen d2 in the game was played, then queen f7, same plan, rook d1, and knight c5. Okay, the position is not exactly the same as it was in the bishop takes d3 line that I mentioned before, but the same plan applies here for both, for bishop takes and queen takes. What changes is the position of the rook. In the other lines we were looking at the rook on c1, and here we're looking at the rook on d1. So after queen c2, c6, knight c3, and now f5. Okay, this is the idea. The bishop on f4 is exposed, therefore taking on d6 is not good. Also there is nothing with knight g5 or anything, just queen e7. Taking on f5 only helps black. No, he takes with the bishop, attacking the queen, and also knight d3. So we can say that it's already kind of difficult to play with white. It's not clear what to do. The computer doesn't like white's position either. So bishop takes on e5. This is already probably this was not Gelfan's day. As we can see in the game, there will be a few suspicious moves. Of course, giving the bishop for the knight on e5, it shows a clear desire to just find equality as soon as possible. And okay, it's not a very pleasant move to do. Okay, so we're back, and okay, I was saying about the move that Gelfand played here with bishop takes on e5. It's not the kind of move that white wants to play in the King's Indian, giving away the dark square bishop, and also transforming the pawn structure for black. The alternative was to take with the knight, which might be slightly better, but still black has an excellent position. After d takes on e5, bishop e3, knight e6, everything is accomplished. The knight on e6, f5, the knight is going to d4 in the next move. For example, after f3, knight d4, queen d2. Of course, taking on d4 is not a real option for white. Queen d2 and f4. Those who have experience in the knight a6 line in the King's Indian are familiar with this type of positions, and once this is achieved, once black gets to play like this, bishop f2 and then bishop e6, the position is extremely comfortable. He will play rook a to d8, g5, h5, g4 with an attack, and also a solid plan like rook a to d8, rook d7 and rook f d8 is also quite strong. So if it is slightly better to take on f5, but after g takes on f5, black has a very good position as well. Then f3 has to be played, knight d4, queen c1 and bishop e6, attacking c4, b3, rook d8. Same thing applies here, rook d7, rook f d8, or find the right moment to break in the center with e4 and f4 later. It depends on how white plays this position, but like I said, rook d7, rook f d8, or even queen e7, queen b4. There are many plans to do here. King h8, rook g8 might be one, and then bishop f6. That might be interesting as well. So we can say that after bishop e5, white is looking for equality, and probably white is already surprised by the opening preparation of Rajiao. D takes on e5. We can see here the route for the knight on c5, b4, knight e6, c5. Okay, this is with the idea of freeing the c4 square for one of the minor pieces, either the bishop or the knight. The move rook d6 doesn't help because of knight d4, and after queen d2, bishop e6, attacking c4 again. So c5, knight d4, knight takes on d4, e takes, and now knight b1, a must. It's the only move. The alternative was knight a4, but after f takes on e4, the f file is open and black is attacking f2. So bishop c4 is the only move. Bishop e6, bishop takes, queen takes, rook takes e4. Apparently white is going to blockade everything on light squares. For example, f3, queen d3, knight b2, knight c4. That would be a plan, but black has an excellent move here. That move is d3. If rook takes on e6, d takes on c2, and the endgame is almost won. So queen b3 is the only move, because queen takes on d3, queen takes on a2 with the attack on a4 and on f2. So here queen b3, queen takes, and now rook f e8. Very nice move. After rook takes, g3, rook d8, idea of rook d4 and rook takes on b4. This is a silly line, very bad for white, so knight b1 of course is better, but then bishop e6, and now we can see another weak move in this position was e takes on f5, probably the losing move already. White should have played e5, and of course black is better, but things are not so easy because of the fixed position of the pawns. Even if there is a good chance that black wins a pawn, it's not so clear how to materialize this advantage. For example, of course bishop takes on e5 is trouble because bishop d3, and if we move the bishop from e5 then rook takes on e6, and if we don't, then f4 is something like queen f6 for example, then f4 and rook takes on e6 again, so that would be a mistake. Bishop takes on a2 also is not the best to play because of knight d2, and knight c4 is coming soon, so or bishop c4, there might be a blockade by white on c4, so it would be best to play rook f d8, defend that pawn, and after knight d2 bishop takes on e5. Now we always have rook d5 in case of a pin, so bishop d3, bishop f6, knight c4 and bishop d5. In case of knight d6, black can play queen c7, but it's very interesting to play rook takes, c takes and rook d8. 2 pawn for the exchange, a very solid position. White is worse in this position. Even if he has the exchange, he's worse. So yes, e5 was slightly better than the game, but still better for black. In the game, Gelfand took on f5, and after bishop takes, bishop d3, then a5. A very unpleasant surprise. Opening the a file, the rook from a8 goes into play. Black has pressure on the f file. Right now the pawn on a2 is a target, and even if it's not the pawn, it's the second rank, so the seventh rank if we look from black's point of view. So for example, a move like bishop takes on f5, queen takes, queen c4 of course. Trading queens doesn't help. Queen f7 must take now, otherwise after a takes on b4 white is losing. So rook takes on f7, a3 takes, and then rook a4. The game is pretty much over. So Gelfand played b5, trying to keep the game close, but c takes on b5, knight a3, bishop takes, rook takes, only move because the queen must defend f2, rook a to c8. If knight takes on b5, rook takes on c5. The queen cannot take because of queen f2, so rook f1, queen d5. Still white cannot take on b5. He's down material, his pieces are not better, so it looks resignable already, and Gelfand actually resigned a couple of more moves later. Queen d2, b4, knight b5, rook takes c5, and the game is over. After knight takes on d4, black simply wins by playing rook c3. That simply wins the game. Rook c3 wins material. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I tried to enlighten a little bit, shed some light in the theory of this line, the current status of the line. It looks okay for black, and I think those who like this line should give it a try, myself included. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching my videos, and next week we'll have a new video, maybe on this line, maybe in a new line. Let's see what comes up.